Evening, everybody. It's 6:50 on Tuesday, 2/22/22, and it was a fairly crappy day in the market. We had the Dow down almost 700, came back, rallied about halfway back. Biden spoke, rallied a little more, sold off into the close, down 482.57, 1.4%. Nasdaq down 166.55, 1.25%. The S&P down 44.11, 1.01%. The Russell down 29 and change, 1.5%, and the biggest loser, Dow Jones Transports, down 235.99, 1.58%. Advanced declines were 3.5 to 1 to the downside on the NYSE, 3 to 1 down in the Nasdaq. Volume gained a bit up to 4.8 billion. That's about 10 or 12% higher than recent days. Chart on the screen is corn, which broke out yet again. This gap has been filled, the gap to the downside between a close here at 682 and a close the following day 80 cents a bushel lower, which is a huge move. Even at $7 and change, it's over 10% in a day. And again, we broke out, we closed that gap. We consolidated almost down to the 10-day moving average, turned on a dime, spent 2 short-range days, and then broke out, closing pretty close to the high. High was 674 and a half, finished 672 and a half. So pretty damn impressive. Oil was up about $1.70. The gold was up about $7.60. Bitcoin down a little over 2,000. It was down about almost 3,600 during the day. Dollar and the bonds were basically unchanged. Okay. Even good news was not great news today. Home Depot beat. The stock was about unchanged. It had traded up a little. When I mentioned it to you this morning, it had been around 346. It had traded up to 352, but then fell back and closed the day 316.98, down almost 30, 29.89, 8.62%. It seems that in digging into the numbers, as analysts are wont to do, it turned out that the number of customer transactions was down, even though the numbers were higher, mostly because what they were buying was more expensive. So inflation reared its head there. Also, we had Macy's, which had good numbers, and was talking about how they expect their other channel, internet, to be better and continue to grow. This morning when we talked, it was 27 and 3/4, and that was up 2 and 3/4. It hit $28.21 at the high, and then promptly collapsed down to 24.18, and that was down 5%, $1.28. To give you an idea of what was going on there, plans for something to act better is really not the same as actually acting better. Virgin Galactic, smaller than expected loss, stock $7.82, down 58 cents, or just under 7%. Palo Alto Networks closed the day 475.51, down 666, had a beat in earnings and gave good guidance, and the stock rallied up last I saw was 504.50, and that was up 22.40. So that's a solid $30 higher than where it closed. So it reversed down 666 on the day to up 22.40. Toll Brothers also a beat. No action there at all. The stock closed 52.27, down $1.76. Last is 52.30, so not much going there. And of course, I'll mention Meritor again, MTOR, being bought by Cummins Engineering. $36.50, I believe, is the number. And it closed the day 35.47, up $10.80, or 4.5%. Look at the futures right now. It's really a mixed bag. Oil down a quarter, nat gas up a penny, gold down 7.20, silver down about 15 cents, and the futures are higher. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Remember that trading is thin in these markets, and basically the S&P is up 24. That's about half of what it was down today. Nasdaq up 112. That's about two-thirds of what it was down today. And the Dow futures up 145. That's versus 482, so not so great. As far as the Russell, though, it's up 1690 after being down just 29, so a little bit more than halfway. I want to mention that Dennis has been short this market, trading the S&P futures, and I'll give you a look at what they have done. Uh, he called this a top. Originally, we came back down to a lower high, came back with the big break, back to a lower high, double top here, and down again. I'm not exactly sure what his position is tonight. I haven't talked to him. I wanted to get this out of the way first. But I remind you, we have this gold only or precious metals only account that we can deal with for just 25,000. 25,000 is the equity required. It is not the amount of risk that anybody takes. But if you have any questions about that, please just direct message or email or call me and let me know, and I'll get you some information about it. All right, everyone. Have a good evening. I'll be back in the morning. Oh, Tellurian reports tomorrow. It was a bit higher today. I think I saw it close at let me just take a look. Closed at let's see, 269, and that was up 26 cents or 10.7%. I don't know that they have much to report in the way of revenues since they haven't really started building their facility, but they have been acquiring more and more production of nat gas, and maybe we'll get a little bit of a look at that. Have a good evening. I'll be back in the morning.